Hi there, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's reading. Today, we are going to look into what is a message from your soul about setting healthy boundaries. And we have two piles to choose from, as usual. Before we get into the reading, take a few deep breaths and breathe out through your mouth. I'm going to ring the singing bowl. All right. So, just well. Anyway, so we have two piles. The first one is Awaken, number one. Wow. The second pile is Emotions, number 12. Take your time, take a few deep breaths again if required, breathing out through your mouth, letting your awareness guide you to whichever pile you are drawn to. And you are more than welcome to choose one or more piles. Hello there, pile one. If you chose the Awaken card, this is going to be your reading. And let's see what is the first thematic energy around what does your soul want you to know about setting healthy boundaries. The first card itself is Awaken. All right, we have Compassion, number 10. Then we have Emotions. Isn't that interesting? That's for pile number 2. And we have Walk Your Truth. Hmm. Just trying to figure out. Well, Awaken. And I actually asked, like, what is it that pile number 1 needs to awaken? And isn't it interesting? We have Awaken here, her eyes are closed, and here the woman's or the lady's eyes are open. And this is 1, and that's 10, which is also a 1 in a way. Yet, what I am receiving here is compassion, and this is about awakening compassion for your own self. And specifically, I perceive that, having compassion in your mindset more than this is not about communication. It will eventually come down to your communication or how you're communicating with others and even with yourself. But this is more so about your soul is wanting you to know that you have to have more compassion about the energy of compassion in your thoughts more than anything else, in your thoughts about others, in your thoughts about how you're growing, how you are a part of a greater whole, and you have that same energy that flows through the universe, moving, rushing, flowing through within you. And it's coming to you and it's moving through you as well. So I do perceive that there's a strong message here from your soul to awaken what is dormant within you by having more compassion, because I perceive that the more compassion you awaken within yourself, especially about your thoughts, how do you think about yourself, what do you say to yourself, how do you even um analyze the thoughts that you have, are you quite angry at yourself or very you know strict with the kind of thoughts you have in a way that's a little suffocating. Are you too much on the edge about I should be only thinking positive and very nice thoughts and not letting yourself actually feel what you're feeling, because that's the message coming through and makes sense with walk your truth as well. And emotions, so you have a lot of space for your emotions to, I'm getting the word, run wild and free within you. More than anything else, it's more about within you. It's about you acknowledging. the emotions within you. It's about you having compassion for the emotions that you experience. That's what's coming through. That is what's important, to set healthy boundaries. Isn't that interesting? Maybe that's why, the reason why this is coming up is because you may not be holding space for your emotions, and so your boundaries might be getting a little blurred or breached by others because you're holding space for them, yet not for yourself. There is a need to awaken compassion for yourself. You have to analyze this thing as to how much you have grown, how much you are holding space for others better than before, and not from a place of lack, but from a place of knowing that you can do it, and it does, create greater for you. And it is true to you to hold space for others, but there is also a very strong call here from your soul to have that transparency with yourself as well. Do you have that same transparency of what you feel with yourself? That's coming through quite strongly, because you need to look at every single atom, every single molecule here is what I'm receiving as an analogy, or if you really believe energy works that way, whatever suits you, whatever resonates with you. But every single fiber of your being, what you're feeling, are you being honest with acknowledging that or not? That's an important message coming through. Let me just check this once. All right. Now, let's see what is specifically coming through as to maybe an action or what you can do. I'm definitely getting like connecting more with the element of water is going to be extremely helpful, and taking a lot of head baths if you can, of course. You know your situation the best, so only take what resonates and what's true for you. Taking more head baths in some way, shape, or form, or cleansing your crown chakra a lot more is essentially coming through quite strongly here, because I do feel like with the palm, the way it's being shown here, there's a breach in your boundaries happening in some way, shape, or form. And um, you may not recognize it physically, but to your soul and especially to your emotional body, it may feel a little intrusive, more intrusive than you are actually recognizing. So it's important that you set boundaries by recognizing what you're feeling emotionally first, to yourself, acknowledging that to yourself, so that you can understand how to articulate it, how to express it in a way that serves everyone in the situation. Oh, wow, that went flying. I'm not taking that. We have eight of acorns, communication in a way, but we have energy and results. So, what does your soul want you to know specifically about setting healthy boundaries? We have eight of acorns again. Well, that's not a coincidence for sure. And then we have Knight of Crystals, which is Knight of Pentacles, and Knight of Acorns, which is Knight of Wands. It's interesting that both of these energies, the eight of acorns, which is again about speed, and then Knight of acorns is again action, drive, speed. Look at the boar. It's, the boar runs quite speedily. The momentum is very, very high. Yet, what do we have in between? Knight of Crystals. So, your soul wants you to have a middle ground of sorts. You have a lot of intensity, you have a lot of energy. And I do perceive that one way to release this energy is to do physical activities or physical exercises in some way, shape, or form, whichever is suitable for you, to release this pent up energy and have a lot more wow, I was about to say clarity. Well, like that's the word I wanted to say, but the word that came through is quality. So maybe this is asking you, I mean, this activity will help you have more quality in the way you're expressing yourself, have more quality in your life in general, have a more quality life or a qualitative life compared to where you are right now. So your because with the eight of acorns, I think it's an eel, and it moves like this, and it's very speedy in nature. That's what I'm getting. There's a sense of urgency, a sense of wanting to express, but there is also a lot of push and pull. And sometimes this expression, because it is not coming out in a controlled manner, or rather, sorry, or rather a healthy manner, because you have to release the energy around it through a physical activity or through other healthy releasing mechanism. So maybe it's running, maybe it's dancing it out, maybe it is actually practicing kickboxing or punching, or activities like that that help you release a lot, or just doing intense workouts if it is possible for you. And if it is not, so wherever you can in your day-to-day life, maybe it's your own room, or just in your car, if you can pull up the windows and just scream out loud, because I feel like there's a lot of pent up energy which may not be able to come out of you in form of words initially, so you need to release it first energetically by screaming, or maybe you can punch into a few pillows if that is possible for you. And I've also, I think I read this somewhere, but it's not mine. But what you can also try is drawing, holding a stick and drawing on the mud quite with a lot of aggression and intensity. So, really scraping through the soil or the mud wherever you can. And of course, in a way that doesn't harm any other creature there. So, where in a way that is conducive to all, doing those kind of activities, or, touching clay or using clay to release a lot of emotions can also be helpful. So, using clay to mold something and create something, maybe pottery is something you can explore. So releasing that energy, especially through your palms, is very important. Our arms are mostly what gets activated when we are in fight mode and not flight. So there is a need to release energy from your arms as well. And of course, as I mentioned, physical activities, because that's going to help you have better clarity about where you are headed and make very informed choices. Especially this may be even influencing your career in some way, shape or form. So that can having this clarity and releasing this energy in whichever way possible, the way that suits you the best, can help you release that confusion that might be coming up because of this pent up energy. And that will help you have better boundaries as well, because that sense of urgency to want a result, to expect something from somebody, will ease down by quite a lot. That is why you will have a more qualitative life, is what I'm receiving with the Knight of Crystals. Your endurance will increase, and I perceive that this nitro like energy, the nitro that we have in sports cars, I might even be using it incorrectly, but the analogy that always comes to my mind is the movie Fast and Furious and the cars in it, and how they punch on the nitro to get an extra edge. So that extra edge is what you innately have, but having an activity to help you release and acknowledge these intense emotions that you may not be acknowledging, is sort of making you wobble a little bit. But the more you acknowledge it, the more you're able to release it, there will be a very stable growth. Of course it may take time, but you will be more sure of yourself, you will be very much relaxed, is what I'm receiving. So anything else? I am receiving that this is all that there is, but any last messages for pile number one? I'm not taking this, but we have again Knight of Feathers. The energy of the Knight is very strong here. So a lot of you who have chosen pile number two, you're definitely in, sorry, pile number one, you are in an action mode. You are moving towards not moving towards, you're very determined at this point in time. There's a strong goal achieving a goal energy or intention, sorry, or a very strong intentional energy at this point in time. So we have three of cups here, which is playfulness and bliss. Yeah, that's what I'm receiving. The urgency, the more it dies out, you will be more, even if your pace is slow, even if you're not progressing at the pace you wanted, or if you used to, or if you're still comparing yourself with others as to where they are in life, and maybe you are not there where you want to be compared to them. Whatever it is, comparison in any way, shape, or form will ease up for you a lot the more you're able to acknowledge these pent up emotions. The being honest with yourself, being very transparent with yourself, is a strong message here from your soul to understand what's going on within, and holding space for yourself, because the more you are able to practice that, the easier it will be for you to create boundaries and stick to them, not change them quickly just because the situation is becoming unfavorable as per you. And by that, I am not demeaning at all. I just feel like that unfavorable energy comes so more so because you are in anxiety of things shifting and changing. Anxiety, so most of the times, on anything that not anything, most of the times humans are afraid of the unknown, and that is what creates a flight or fight energy within us, which can create anxiety, or the energy of flight or stepping back, right? You are not wanting to engage at all, so you will be able to you know detach a little from that cycle and have more ease within yourself. And I perceive that with the three of cups, the strongest message that's coming through is actually you will see everyone as equal, which will ease a lot of load on you. It will ease up a lot of weight that you're carrying on your shoulders. So, pile number one, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's reading. I hope that this helped you in some way, shape, or form. If the reading resonated with you, if it helped you, please do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I have another place you can connect with me, and that's on Substack. I have the links to my Substack in the description box below. Feel free to join me there. We have interesting insights around self compassion and self empowerment, and also occasional tarot insights. If you are drawn to that, if it feels light to you, you're more than welcome to join me there. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi there, pile number two. If you chose emotions with the number 12, this is going to be your reading. Let's see what's the thematic message or an overall message from your soul as to setting setting healthy boundaries. What does your soul want you to know? All right, we have shine, number 29, surrender. How interesting. And then we have move forward. This seems to be a highly psychic pile. Also, I do perceive that some of you might resonate with the idea that you are channels or mediums. And definitely something to do with hair, be it short or long, whatever length you have. There's a special relationship with your hair, is what I'm receiving. Of course, only take what resonates with you. I'm also getting something around the number 29, especially the age 29 is coming up quite strongly. So, pile number two, I want some clarity with the shine card here, and what your soul wants to say about setting healthy boundaries. We have free spirit. Just, I mean, can you look at the similarities here? There's so much movement, and especially around hair. We have hair here, we have hair here, we have hair here, and we also have hair here. Wow, with the shine. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. This is the hair part. It most likely is. Hmm. With this pile, the interesting part is you are actually aware of your emotions quite strongly, so much so that it may be weighing heavy on you. And I do perceive that actually your main message is definitely to surrender, and a lot about releasing a lot, releasing her and letting go of what was, because it's weighing you down, whatever emotions you are carrying right now in some way, shape, or form, weighing you down in the sense that I'm getting that it's not five of cups, is it? It's more so eight of cups energy, wherein you know that something is not serving and you have to move on, get that moving on has not happened. And that is the reason why, your soul actually wants you to actually think about the amount of energy you're spending in certain thoughts, certain situations that might be occurring in your life. Because what I'm receiving is you may be focusing on other people's anxiety, fear, or whatever they are going through a lot more. And you're investing your energy so much there that you are losing sight of your own free spirit, your own vastness, the vastness of who you are in some way, shape, or form, that's coming through. So with 29 and 31, I'm getting Saturn return time and again. So that makes sense because Saturn does really help us understand where we need to have healthy boundaries. And so the question actually makes so much, or the readings make so much sense here as to where you need to set healthy boundaries. And your soul really wants you to understand what weight are you carrying that's not yours to carry, especially in terms of you may have more emotional resilience, you may have more emotional intelligence, and so in that sense you may be holding space a lot for others. I know the message is a little similar to pile one, but the difference is more so that pile number one is not acknowledging a lot about how they're feeling, but with you you're acknowledging too much. That is the difference. And so um, you may even be taking other people's emotions as your own and not letting yourself grow. Because with the shine card, I'm actually getting reminded of the tree or tree of life. You could say it's tree of life, but I'm more so getting the analogy of a tree, and a tree that needs to bloom, but it's being weighed down. It's leaves are drooping, the branches are falling off, and some, I mean, maybe naturally it is not possible, but it's more so like a plant that's dying. That's the energy I'm receiving, because it's carrying a, yeah, in the analogy of a plant, maybe when you even water it extra, it dies, right? You have to water it the correct amount. It's not about just because watering it is nourishing for it, you keep watering it. You have to check the soil, you have to check how the environment is around you. Maybe you have put the plant, or you are in a climate where it's more humid, so you may not even need to water it as often. Or maybe the requirements of the specific plant is very different from the plants that you've used earlier. So I'm getting giving this analogy because there is a nuanced awareness that's required, a very detail oriented awareness about the differences as to which emotion is yours, and which emotion have you made yours but it's not even yours to carry. And you have to really shed it. You have to shed the skin, and you have to make a strong choice here of moving forward, of moving on. Because what I'm receiving here is um you may feel that you are leaving a part of you behind if you are moving forward, but that is not the case. In fact, you are emptying yourself of things or thoughts or emotions that no longer sorry, no longer serve you, and they do not have to come with you in the future or in the next step that you are taking. Because you are much more vast, you are much more advanced in your awareness, you are much more clear when you are in your own energy. So there's essentially a focus on, in whichever way, it could be physical, like physically moving out or physically distancing yourself, but it's more so, to me this seems more so emotional and energetic, where you have to detach yourself from other people's miseries, other people's tough situations at this point in time, because the way you are involving yourself is not an empowered way. It's from a place of um let me just be there for them in my entirety, and you're sort of losing sight of how it's affecting you negatively at this point in time. So your soul really wants you to surrender the need to help somebody else from a place of lack, from a place of feeling they are not powerful enough, or from a place of actually exhausting yourself. This is more so about, surrendering those beliefs that make you think that you have to be there for somebody else at the cost of your own well-being, be it emotionally or physically. And I perceive that even your physical body might be showing you the repercussions of it in some way, shape, or form. Maybe some of you are having a back, yeah, because if you are not feeling supported, you may have backache. You and Of course, this is not science based, I'm just speaking from what I have read, or yeah, read about backaches. And specifically, what I'm referring to here is Louise Hay's book of about Heal Your Life. And she has a whole section of why we have certain issues in our body. And of course, she has added on affirmations to release that as well. So an affirmation that you can always use is, I'm life supports me, I'm always supported. And another thing that you can affirm is, I create a life that rewards me, I create a rewarding life, I deserve to be happy, and things come to me with ease, I forgive myself, because maybe there is forgiveness required too. All right, so let's see specifically what is it that you can do, or what does your soul want you to do to set healthy boundaries specifically. Right, we have page of acorns, page of wands, the traveler, fool, is talking about traveling, ace of crystals, which is ace of pentacles, manifestation and prosperity. So there is definitely an energy of, going out there and being that free spirit that you are, especially with the page of acorns. That's very strongly connected with the free spirit card here. In fact, I would say it would have been even strong a connection had it been Queen of Wands. But even with the Page of Wands, there's a lot of enthusiasm, there's a lot of excitement about life, and that's just doubling down with the Fool card here, the Traveler card here, adventure, potential, and manifestation and prosperity, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, so any of you, if you're facing even any sort of blockages around finances, and especially mental blockages, and beliefs that you may not receive money in the way that you want, or you cannot actualize money for yourself in the way that you want, that's only going to change the more you are in this exploratory energy, exploration energy, excuse me, wanting to explore your life. Because as I said, there's a lot of weighing down energy here. So even if it's impractical to make a huge jump right now, but having small traveling expeditions, if you can, even, you don't even have to move outside of your state or city or wherever you are, just exploring places within your city and being creative with the way you explore these places. And I don't know how can you be creative. um yeah, maybe, you can list down whatever places you want to visit. Maybe it's just even cafes, and make we had those paper games which was called tippy tippy tap. I don't know what's it called now, but you had those square like pages, and you folded them and became triangles, and then you could do something with your fingers. I don't know how to explain that. And you would choose a color, then you open what that color was going to say, or whatever message that color had within it, and then you choose that, and something so on and so forth. So you can do fun activities like this to choose what you want to do first. Maybe it's, and especially I'm getting, exploring culture and artistic stuff is going to be very helpful. Maybe for some of you, if you are drawn to animals, exploring places that are animal shelters, or if you can be of contribution to animals in some way, shape, or form, doing that will be helpful in you know inviting this free spirit, exciting energy within you. And that's going to unlock a lot of your financial potential, a lot of your dormant financial potential. And what you will realize is, with the panda here, what I'm getting is, here is, you may be a person who works hard, or you think a lot, and you exhaust yourself with a lot of strategies, and you put efforts to, but you are not able to see some results, or the results that you desire. But with the Ace of Pentacles, what I'm receiving is, the more you tap into this potential, the zero energy of everything and nothing, and being, not unabashedly, but um, limitlessly open minded about what you can explore in life, being limitlessly open minded about the infinite possibilities. I don't know if that sentence makes any sense, but what I'm trying to say is, not having any inhibitions about the infinite possibilities available to you, and you know incorporating and weaving that energy into your life is going to help you have clarity about how much easier it is to invite money into your life with the Ace of Pentacles here. So, pile number two, that's all that I have for you. I know this was um, about a message about setting healthy boundaries, but your soul wanted to talk about what you need to be doing to create ease for yourself and freedom for yourself, because I feel the message is a lot about freedom. And so the more you are able to create this freedom, the breach of your boundaries will stop, not because you're creating boundaries, but you will be involved in so many activities that you may not have the bandwidth, or more than bandwidth, it's more so you do not have the time and energy to focus on things that may actually be sucking you dry of your own energy. It's not reciprocating, it's not helping you build in any way, shape, or form. Rather, it's exhausting you. And that's your soul's message here, to tap into your free spirit energy, because that's going to help you set boundaries in a very, very natural way, more than being, of course you will be vocal about it, but it's like you will be occupied so much by so many things that you may not may that you will be creating healthy boundaries quite seamlessly, quite naturally. So, pile 2, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. If so, please like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also, I invite you to join my Substack, where we have occasional tarot insights, and also insights on self empowerment, self compassion, embracing parts of all parts of ourselves, topics like these in small bits and pieces. If you are open to it, you are more than welcome to join my Substack. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you again so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye.